Welcome everybody. It is I Matsuda here, joined with Alchem Battery. Here, gonna be casting Abyssal League Tsunami Division. Playoffs has already started. Today's teams we have Vicious Hunger on blue side and Run It Down Mid on red side, and we are in drafts. Pick some band.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun playoffs. Run it down mid. They are 10-8 if I remember correctly, and Vicious Hunger coming off of I think it was a best of three head-to-head that they had to uh, take part in. So it was against DOV Esports Green. So great job from them, and I'm very interested to see how this game's going to go, or the series, I should say.
Yeah, it's always exciting. Love doing these best of threes, especially in playoffs, because it really goes to show how these teams are able to perform under pressure. As we are seeing the Morgana and Ari bans already going off the table. Run it down mid, gonna go ahead and take away the Fox. Ari tends to have at least one of the actually better laning matchups against any mid lane champion, so it's a solid ban coming out from Run it down mid.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of love. The Glacial Augment build coming out with Spooky Ghosts, everyone's favorite item ever made. Just a lot of, some big slow fields, and getting some vision on champions is super, super important. So it's also not terribly statted as well. So, some efficiency there, but we do see the Kaisa also being banned out. Such a popular AD carry. I'm glad that she's gone. She kind of warps any game that she's in. She's either really, really there's always a ticking time bomb. You reach like 30, maybe 40 minutes. She at least has like 2 or 3 items, and it gets really difficult to team fight.
Yeah, Kaisa definitely a threat to be reckoned with, as we do see Vicious Hunger gonna go throw out some technical bans here. We see the Morgana, so we're already assuming they're looking for maybe a Rakan pickup for their bot lane. And then we also see the Darius, so that means they're looking to maybe have a tank top laner. Darius got buffed absurdly with his armor shred. Thanks, Riot. And actually we see first pick Leona coming out from Vicious Hunger.
Yeah, I mean that perfectly plays into the ban that we see here. I mean, the Morgana, one of those champions, aside from Janna and maybe even the Thresh, that can stop a Leona engage almost instantaneously, both with Black Shield, that kind of stuff, and definitely plays into a more aggressive laning phase, which we actually see from Run It Down Mid. They do end up picking another engaged support in Alistar.
Yeah, the cow locked in from Run It Down Mid. I actually do like this picked up. I think All-Star is one still a solid support picked up. I think it'd be really nice if they paired up with something like a Varus. But we'll find out later on through the draft. But we see the Talia locked in from Run It Down Mid.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, the Talia can still be flexed. I know that there's still some people who swear by Talia mid, but is a super popular jungle pick right now, so definitely opens up the pick ban for Run It Down Mid to play around with it a little bit, maybe try and bait out some picks from Vicious Hunger, or maybe even some bans.
Yeah, Vicious Hunger so far gonna lock in the Jarvan, seeing that it's either gonna be flex top lane or jungle, but I can see it going top lane more in favor than compared to jungle, because I think jungle Jarvan is still fairly weak and just gets out jungled by the current meta junglers.
Leave him alone, man. He's the king. He's the fourth king. Come on, man.
The
Nah,
fourth, man. He's not
the
the
fourth.
first.
No, but the recent buffs to his passive, Martial Cadence, where he's able to proc it a lot more, and from the cooldown on it, definitely helps. Also, he got a non-buff in the sense that all his visuals and sound effects got buffed. So, if people were complaining about really bad audio or some cringy looking model, it's better now. It looks a lot better. It's kept up to date at least in somewhat, but. I do like this pairing already. We see the Jarvan, we see the Leona, and Vicious Hunger, they end up picking the Orianna. That's a really great engagement tool.
Yeah, the Orianna and the Jarvan, the classic iconic Wombo combo duo locked in for Vicious Hunger, as we see the Caitlyn locked in, paired up with the Alistar in the bot lane. I'm not so sure how strong that lane is. I know they probably have a lot of 2v2 presence, just, the fact that Caitlyn's passive with Bush, how it interacts allows for a very painful laning phase, depending on whatever ADC they pick up on the side of Vicious Hunger.
Yeah, if we just take a look, I mean, they have the Alistar to help counter engage when Leona decides she wants to go in. You can use the headbutt pulverize, that kind of stuff to keep Caitlyn at a really safe distance so that Leona has to either walk back and take a lot of poke damage on the way out, or you can end up using Alistar's ultimate to get out of really sticky situations. So I am liking this bot lane dominance. You get some really laning focused bot lane, which for right now, other than jungle, I would say trying to get your bot lane ahead is probably one of the most important things for this game.
Yeah, currently the meta, mid lane and top lane are most likely, or for the most part, irrelevant. Not as important as jungle and bot lane. I think both these roles heavily dictate the state of the game, while top lane and mid lane are just kind of the extras that try to keep the team afloat, but they don't have as much presence at the moment.
Yeah, it literally, as anyone in solo queue will tell you, legitimately jungle difference. Better jungle wins every single time. So
whenever I win and I'm playing jungle, I always type that in all chat at the end of the game.
Well, that might just because you're toxic, dude. You're a Dom fan.
It's no, come on, man. It's friendly banter.
It's friendly banter.
Yeah, you establish your dominance as a jungle. That's how you win.
Probably. I mean, that's the name of the game, though. You gotta stamp out these nerds, these Silver 3 nerds.
Oh yeah, you already know, man.
But I love this Ornn pick. I'm not a huge fan of the Sivir. I mean, you have someone like Leona who's supposed to be super lane dominant, but with the Ornn that we see, it looks like they're kind of setting up for the team fight, which is gonna be in tandem with someone like Sivir, kind of conceding some of the laning phase. I'm confused about this Leona pick, but I'm hopeful that we'll see it maybe to some better use.
Yeah, the draft on Vicious Hunger is a bit interesting to say the least. I think everything fits in decently except the Sivir. I guess it helps with team fighting, but that's something that I have to commit to if they're gonna go for that. Because when you see the Sivir locked in, you kind of think about, well, what about the Varus? What about Ashe? I think there's other 80 carries that provide a lot more to the table than Sivir, who's essentially an 80 carry who gives everyone Ghost. But
no, it's not even that. It's you give everyone Ghost and you make everyone else wait for 40 minutes while you scale up.
Yeah, basically. But on the side of Run It Down mid, I do like the Lissandra pick. It's a control mage that helps stabilize this Orianna mid. It's an even matchup, I believe, so it's something that they have to play around maybe in the middle of the game or early in their game even. And then the Lissandra ultimate is going to be a huge issue on the side of Vicious Hunger. If they catch out anyone with that Lissandra ultimate, then things could get a little bit messy for them.
Yeah, and I think that's actually really good considering the fact that Clumsy, he has chosen to go for the Orianna with TP, and someone like Lissandra does tend to want to get out of that laning phase, try to roam around using her E and, get into those really tough positions. I'm interested to see if maybe Run It Down mid, they decide to run it with Aftershock. I have seen a little bit of that in that sense to, make Lissandra's engage just that much more impossible to deal with, as she ends up in the middle of your team. You can't do any damage to her because Aftershock is a broken keystone. And I mean, I'm very interested to see just in terms of keystone. I'm really liking, Run It Down mid's team comp. The Sivir really confuses me in the bot side, but they have a lot of tools to, transition from that mid to late game. You have the Orianna, you have the Jarvan as well. That kind of stuff can help get through your early to mid game. And you've got Sivir and Ornn who, get to those late game team fights, get into those really, really important team fights that can help you, at least in those, kind of later in the game, very much later.
Yeah, so definitely something to look out for. We are seeing that Never Enough is going to be running that Aftershock on Lissandra, so we definitely know something's going to be a lot more team fight oriented with this composition on the side of Run It Down mid.
By the way, there's no caster bias here, despite Gummy Bulls, our lovely, one of our lovely streamers here at Everlife. He is the AD, so there's absolutely no bias. If anything, there's anti-bias because Matsuda here is gonna get to flame in just a little bit for this man.
Yeah, every time he misses a CS, I'm gonna say that Slim's a better streamer than him.
Bad trades, walks
bad
over.
Trades. He's not even using the cool skin, I really like the Antarctica Caitlyn one. It's not even that cool. Like, who uses that Caitlyn skin? Like, you're just trolling, Gummy.
Definitely. Alrighty.
Oh, you use that skin? Oh no! Why would? According to production, they use that Caitlyn skin, so I'm having very mixed emotions. Okay, okay, understandable. As we are,
Understandable. Nice day.
but this Ornn versus Irelia matchup, I think it's really uninteractive for Irelia because no matter how long she pokes out Ornn, I think the passive helps a lot, especially if he's picking up like a Ruby Crystal or anything like that. And she doesn't really have a lot of kill pressure, so she's gonna have to rely on a lot of these roaming rotations.
Mhm. Uh, yeah, I just got hit up with a big spectator bug. But I mean, just looking at their team comp though, I do agree the Ornn matchup, at least topside for Aurelia, is probably gonna feel a little bit bad. You know, it's you hate to see it, that kind of stuff, but uh, it, for that, I don't think Ornn is gonna be looking, or at least Aurelia isn't gonna be looking to maybe do anything in that top side. I mean, once you see that you're going up against an Ornn, you're looking to just get level 6 and then maybe try and invade with your Talia, which Talia does have a pretty good clear speed. She also does have some pretty good movement speed. So I'd be interested to see just how they, just how this top jungle duo works just by itself. Maybe trying to get some invades. Maybe even try to, pile on into the mid lane.
Yeah, something we do have to pay attention to, especially with how these team comps. I think it's a matter of who has control in the beginning of the game, and that's essentially how this game is going to come down to in game 1 of the series.
Hold up. Sorry, we are having. Oh, I'm having spectator delay. Not spectator delay. I got bugged out, so I'm gonna try and join back in. But just again, looking at team comps, I really like Run It Down mid. They have, pretty clear win conditions. They have a carry in the top side. They have someone who's a better team fighter in the mid lane, at least in the Lissandra part, and they have a lot of poke damage, which I really enjoy. They have Talia, they have Caitlyn, and they have clear lines of engagement. They have Aurelia ult, and the flawless duet stun. We also see Lissandra, as I just said, really great engagement there, as well as Alistar. So a lot of vectors to move in so that Talia, Caitlyn, and the entirety of Run It Down mid as a whole can end up doing damage.
Yeah, but speaking of, well, they do have the Caitlyn and a team comp that's able to poke from far away. You also have to think about how, on the side of Vicious Hunger, they have a huge team composition where they want to rely on heavy initiations, and as Caitlyn, you don't want to be that close up to the enemy. So with the Severe Ultimate, the Jarvan Cataclysm, it might cause a lot of issues for our good old friends here on Running Down Mid.
Yeah. For Vicious Hunger, at least, they have really easy lines of engagement. At least you have the Jarvan, who can just instantly deliver the Orianna ult. You have Leona as well, who's just an instant vector for transmission of that. Ornn has really long range when it comes to Call of the Forge God, able to set up some really good team fights or even some ganks, depending on if he wants to roam down to mid lane or run it all the way down to bot lane. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think a lot of this is going to have to come down onto No Name scaling into that late game.
Yeah, No Name has to prove himself. Has to get first blood if he wants me to pronounce his summoner name letter by letter here. But as we are waiting for the game to start, folks, just bear with us here, as we are waiting for things to start up like normal.
It's Riot Games. They are a small indie company. So you gotta leave them alone, man. They don't have that many resources.
Yeah, if only rich boy Dominic could fund Riot Games, but
he makes more than my mom and my grandmother did.
I think that was justified. That situation, that was justified flame.
I'm not gonna get into it. That's all. Look, again, Riot Games, small indie company. I mean, again, they are casting Worlds that's in Korea in the North American LCS studios, so must be a small company. That's all I'm gonna say. Really do be like that.
Yeah, especially when their main region is a wildcard team. That just shows that they are a small indie company.
Oh, my heart, it hurts. Definitely wildcard, by the way. Ooh. Okay, I am in game finally.
I'm in game as well.
Okay, where are you guys at?
All right.
But you guys are way further. The stream is definitely ahead of me. I'm assuming you have the hotkey for it. I'm sorry, you guys. We are having some problems with the client and spectator. I really wish that Riot would, stop being. They seem to update this game for the spectator client, but only for their in-houses. So interested to see. All of my client got scaled down really far, actually. Interesting.
All right, so I don't know where you guys are at this point. I'm sitting around 4.5 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the game because we like talking about League of Legends. As we see, clumsy Chocobo is in a bad spot, but Denali is chasing him down. Never Enough is on the chase as well, and this Orianna might be looking to be in a bad spot here as Irella's gonna be able to collapse. No top lane priority means that this is gonna be a nice, easy first blood going over to Denali.
Yeah,
and that does mean that No Name is going to be called No Name for the rest of the game.
No, leave him alone. They're playing Sivir. They're already getting bullied probably enough this game. But yeah, great job. Getting a little bit thirsty for vision. You do see that there are some wards placed in the Raptor pit, and Talia, a super aggressive jungler, can clear super fast. We already see some of the scuttle dominance coming out from Run It Down mid. Has the bot side, did clip blue, now is clearing most of the top side. So loving this already from Run It Down mid. Ooh.
Oh, we see Verindella. Verinda is actually getting way too close for comfort here as Gummy Bowls might be in a really bad spot. Jib Bits is able to do this 1v2. He doesn't even need his AD carry. He says, forget you, Sivir. I can do this by myself. The flash from the Leona, not quite going to connect on Gummy. And they do trade some summoner spells.
Yeah, that was I mean, again, that's super aggressive. You're kind of just, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get like maybe 1 or 2 CS, and now you have to blow both of your summoners for that. I guess you do also learn that the jungler for these people is bot side, so you can play a little bit more aggressive in this mid and top. But yeah, great job from No Name and his amazing support. I'm gonna call him No Name because, come on, man. You can't do him like that.
No Name is stuck with whatever I'm gonna call him here as the Bloop. Struggling to lane against this Irelia. Irelia just tends to be able to just shove the wave in, and there's no counterplay against it as we see Tilo's going for a trade under turret, but still comes out on top.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, you are getting some trades, but I think this matchup is gonna have to go this way of who gets TM at first. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we see a fight go down as Clumsy Chocobo gets collapsed on by 2 members of Run It Down mid, as they are running it down mid, looking for Poobin, but Poobin's just going to walk away, watch his beautiful Orianna mid laner go down in front of him.
Yeah, that was great timing of the ultimate there from the Orianna, being able to use the shockwave after the glacial prison from Lysandra here. So some missed timings in terms of using abilities and all that kind of stuff, but able to kind of equalize some of that mid lane after going down.
I mean, but there you saw it, folks. That was the aftershock Lysandra. It's quite a nasty build right there, as we do see. It was really easy as 1, 2, 3. You just click one button and there's nothing much that Clumsy Chocobo could have done.
Me tank mid laner. Me. This is just Galio made worse. Not like this.
Galio on steroids, man.
Exactly.
Better wave clear.
Finally in the game.
Better mobility.
Papa John's.
Yeah, we need Papa John's. Come on, man.
Yo, come on. Hey, it's a pizza sponsor. It's free.
Yeah, that guy's racist. We can't talk about it on stream.
Oh.
Oh, we see Clumsy Chocobo gonna go ahead and trade with Never Enough here.
Oh, that is some good trades, but keeping it in the mid lane, there is not not a huge CS differential here. I do want to take a note of of Poobin's jungle pathing right now. He's already in his bot side. He's gonna probably get seen by this ward here, but Denali is catching up, does have some more gold, and already has the level 6. Looks like they are pushing out this bot wave so they can get jungle pressure, but
yeah, really inefficient pathing from Denali, as not a jungle main myself, but I do play a bit of hold that thought, call the Forge God goes through as Denali's gonna ride the wall, builds a wall that Ornn cannot even get out himself here as Denali picks up the kill, but it's a sacrifice because Hungry Savage Hunger ends up picking up the dragon.
Yeah, great job there. I mean, they're able to pick up this Earth Dragon. I'm interested to see just how they're going to be able to utilize it because they don't have a really good Baron taking team. If you take a look at that, they do have the Leona. The Sivir is going to, kind of suffer a little bit when it comes to taking Barons. This dragon only really works if you're actually able to get objectives, if you're able to hit those turrets, hit those dragons, hit those Barons. So, but great job already in this from running it down mid. Denali using the ultimate, recognizing, hey, I'm not going to be able to get that dragon, but this is a lot of turret damage. That might actually just be first turret.
Yeah, first turret going to go over into the hands of Run It Down mid. Nothing much to do there. When we saw the gank go down top lane, I don't know if it's as much value picking off the Ornn compared to getting an Earth Dragon. While it might not be as good on this team over here on blue side, I still think it sets up for Elder Drake later on as the game progresses because I don't see this game ending anytime soon.
Probably, but we got to think about, like, you're giving solo gold over to Aurelia. That's a lot of, you're giving her more potential so she can get her items just a little bit earlier. You're also opening up this side of the map. The Rift Herald should now probably be something you're looking towards in terms of an objective for free. And hopefully, if they're ever able to back, they've been trying to back for the past 20 to 30 seconds, but now that the dragon's gone, the next 5 minutes, you can move your bot lane over to the top side and you can, get some of that lane dominance up there.
Yeah, mid lane's quite even as we are seeing 4 members hovering around the bot side of the map for Team Run It Down mid. Not quite going to find anything appealing to their eyes, but they're going to stick Telos down bot lane. Maybe have their bot lane rotate to the top side. Is this the Korean rotations here?
Bro, there's 3 people soaking experience for this bot wave. Holy. This just gives Ploop enough time to farm one more wave out of top lane, and he is going to move slowly but surely over to this lane.
Yeah, clumsy Chocobo has to be careful. The Lysandre's nearby. Pooman's looking for something. Call the Forge God goes out looking for an engagement. Not quite going to hit anything. Heading towards Africa at this point as Denali makes their escape. Never enough. Quite in a safe position. Nothing earned from the side of Vicious Hunger.
Did you just say headed towards Africa?
Did you see that Ornn ultimate? I don't know, man. Like, it seems like a really easy ultimate to land. But
sorry, man. That's only the planes go, or only the rains head to Africa, buddy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Ploop was playing on locked camera. You never know.
Oh come on, man. I play on locked camera, not like this. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really scared for this right now. Jib and Bits is still, hovering down bot side and. Ooh, coming for a gank in mid.
Yeah, looking for something. Connects the sun on top of Never Enough here. Denali riding the wall. Says you shall not pass over this wall. Boom and dunks on top of Never Enough as they pick up a 1 for themselves here. Meanwhile, Vicious Hunters might be in trouble. The Ploob is getting dived by Telos and another kill going over to Irelia.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, this just makes Ornn really, really useless. I mean, yes, you are only really using him for his ultimate, but if he doesn't have items, he can't frontline. He can only use the ultimate.
If you're using Ornn for your ultimate, but he's not landing the ultimates, then at this point,
yeah, it's just, that's the next part of the equation. That's the next part of the equation. Yeah. It's the first equation is, does Ornn have ult? If yes, use it. All right, if Ornn used ult, Ornn needs to land it. If Ornn did not land it, it's a fail. It's probably a failed team fight, depending on how it goes. Things can happen. But
oh wait, the headbutt pulverize connects as the fadeaway, the snipe from downtown as Gummy Bulls picks up the kill for himself.
Yeah, that's again, no name on the Sivir cannot push up against Verinda and Gummy Bulls in this Caitlyn Alistar bot lane. You're a really squishy AD. You don't have any large movement abilities that traverse a lot of land, and you're already behind.
Yeah, Never Enough gets the ultimate on top of Poobin. As Verena goes ahead and says, you can't milk these. Takes out Poobin.
Yeah, great job from Verinda and from Never Enough to already move. They've already got priority now on this top and bot side, so this should be the last, tier 2 turret. Already being taken down 13.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Run It Down mid, getting these nice rotations out. As they are just going to maybe look for something. Dragon's up in about a minute or so. So they're probably going to go back to base, go home, buy some items, and prepare themselves. But Verenda gets stunned from the Leona. Jim and Bits has to be careful. But they're just going to kind of give each other love taps here. And that's going to be the end of this little altercation.
Yeah, so the next dragon is going to be a Cloud Drake. So
Verenda gets the headbutt pulverized on clumsy Jacobo, but Verenda's in a bad spot. No ultimate going through just yet. He does pop it, and Telos is here in the fight. Does not have the ultimate just yet. He's waiting to pop it. He's waiting for his ultimate to be up, and he does pop it. And the disarm goes through. Denali picks up the kill on No Name as Orn ultimate goes through, but it's a little bit too late here. Maybe looking for the kill.
He landed it.
He landed it, but nothing came out of it as Never Enough gets the kill on Boobin as Gummy picks up a kill for himself off the clumsy Jacobo.
Such a, by the way, I don't mean to be mean, but as a Final Fantasy player, it really hurts my heart when you say it's Chocobo. It's Chocobo. He's a lovable Chocobo. Yeah, it's Chocobo.
I mean, if they
either way,
if they win second game, I'll say correctly.
Anyway, that was an amazing team fight. Super, I mean, just great positioning. Telos going just a little bit too far, and also having blowing the flash going straight into Jim and Bit's ultimate solar flare, but Never Enough, Gummy Bulls, and Denali putting out so much damage. The Vanguard's edge as well from Telos, just locking them up under the turret. They just went a little bit too far. Vicious Hunger, you know, they are hungry for maybe some blood, and the blood was definitely in their eyes. They definitely dived under turret, and right now, I mean, Run It Down Mid is playing a relatively clean game. Still have not taken, lost any turrets. They did lose. They obviously have died twice. They've lost one of the dragons, but barely any damage on these turrets. Mid lane being the most at about a little bit above 50% health, but overall, this is a really, really clean game so far from Run It Down Mid. And right now, Vicious Hunger, they need to stall out this game. They need to be able to stop, a lot of these deaths and all of these losses across the map. And the first thing you want to do with that is you want to be able to get, your members that are behind, especially this Sivir and even Ploop on this Ornn. You want to make sure that they're getting CS, getting that solo experience so that they can, match up at least in levels to the champion, to the enemy.
You have to be careful. Gummy almost getting to that 2-item power spike on Caitlyn here. And really the huge deficit between mid laners here is huge. We see Orianna sitting on some item components while we see Never Enough has the proto belt completed, has the Source boots, and 6 stacks on that Dark Seal as Denali builds the wall, looking for that. It has to flash. That Orianna's ultimate shockwave would have destroyed Denali right there. And that was an ambitious move from Denali, and Chocobo decides to punish him for that.
Yeah, I think he might have ended up on the wrong side of the wall. Also, probably was expecting Chocobo to end up on the correct side where there's 2 other members for Run It Down Mid, but the Rift Herald is going to expire soon, so it has to call it down in this top side, which is really unfortunate. That could have been some really good pressure. You can get into another lane. Oh,
the flash from Chocobo. Denali in a bad spot here. There's 3 on top of him, but the Lysandre goes in. Shut down on Denali, but it's not going to be enough as we see Never Enough get out. No Name as Jim and Bits has to run away. Gummy is on a killing spree. Snipe from downtown. Body blocks, and Jim and Bits is the true hero as it's just Chocobo and Jim and Bits left alive on this top side while Ornn is stuck to hold off Telos.
Gummy Bulls, the true American sniper. I salute.
True American sniper.
I believed. Only the best here at EGN. But, again, super, they do end up trading 2 kills for 1 there. Poobin is just getting further and further behind at this point. Has no control in his jungle. If you take a look at the vision, especially top side, pretty much complete dominance on the side of Run It Down Mid. And, just in terms of objective control and making sure that they have presence across the lanes, right now Run It Down Mid is playing a pretty smooth game.
Actually, we're going to go ahead and switch names because I don't think such a cool name as Vicious Hunger deserves to be on the losing team, so it's actually going to be Gummy's team who is Vicious Hunger, and we're going to go ahead and give Run It Down Mid over to blue side here. Sorry, folks, a little bit of miscommunication, but
Please
yeah,
don't confuse the viewers.
no, the viewers, no. This is all facts. Vicious Hungers is red side, the winning side at the moment in this best of 3 series, and running down mid is gonna be blue side.
I'm just gonna let that
Sink in,
you're just-
you know.
yeah,
It's like a
definitely not.
Inception, you know. It's like everything's a lie, but it just makes this plot a lot more dramatic, you know.
How is this dramatic? They're getting stomped. One of these teams, if you take off nameplates, is getting stomped.
Come on, man. We pulled a Steve Harvey. We just gotta live with it, you know.
Oh my god. But Tilos, 60 CS up right now.
I mean,
Ploop is feeling
not-
real bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Ploop didn't get to play this game.
Uh, I mean, right now he has the Ninja Tabby, he has the Righteous Glory, but that's only going to protect you from Gummy Bulls and Telos right now. Denali is putting out a lot of damage, has a lot of is getting a little bit of penetration from the Murillo Nemicon, but never enough on this Lysandra. Is putting out a lot of damage for right now, using the Glacial Prison and creating a lot of space in the team fight, which I don't think they Vicious Hunger has a lot of space to work with. They're fighting in really closed, cramped quarters, which just makes Lysandra an amazing team fighter. Her alongside someone like Denali or even Telos, when you have such confined spaces, ultimates like the Vanguard's Edge, like the Glacial Prison, do a lot of work.
Enough gets the ultimate, and Denali just pops Jacobo.
Ooh.
Nothing much there. Running down mid is struggling this game as Vicious Hunger is gonna go ahead and maybe look to pick up this second tier top turret. Jim and Biz trying to hold the fort as Verenda's looking to do something, and they're just gonna hover around. Baron is up, so this is the correct position here. Irelia has TP, so this is okay for them. At this point, they're just wave clearing and applying pressure on this top side.
Yeah, I mean, you already traded the mid laner. Eventually, this turret is going to go down. Thankfully, you have someone like the Sivir who presses 2 buttons and the wave is gone instantaneously. I do have to worry a little bit about this mid lane. This should be good because no one is able to catch it, so you can move over. Talia, being one of the faster members on this team, moves over, immediately clears the the mid lane, and can start getting it to push in their favor. But, I mean, Baron is live now. The Dragon, the Cloud Drake, second Cloud Drake is now up, so it's going to be the last regular Drake for the game, if I remember correct. No, sorry, it's up to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
but
come on, man.
It is going to be the Cloud Drake. Looks like Denali is going to try and go for it. I think Cloud Drake for this team would be really, really beneficial. They are able to rotate from these sidelines just faster and faster. It gives Verinda a lot of freedom to move around the map with a lot of more movement speed. You can move from this top side, clear it, and then immediately run mid. And before they've even finished clearing this top side, you're already back here. But
yeah, at this point, we see No Name's able to clear out these waves before Vicious Hunger is able to actually get any damage onto this turret. So running down mid, doing a really good job holding down the fort. But at this point, I think Vicious Hunger has to look for a rotation where they're able to force running down mid to collapse and turtle shell themselves. But we see Telos getting caught out. Poomin actually gonna disengage from there as Verenda gets the nice pulverized headbutt combo on Clumsy Jacobo. And that's all she wrote as Telos gets a kill on Oriana.
And that was... Ooh. I mean, that's just constant CC after CC. You can only move around so much. Still has the flash. Maybe pulling a double or saving the flash for the next Worlds. But probably saving it for the next playoffs match. But yikes, dude. Never enough right there. Great job. And Verinda, really great Alistar so far. Just really good engages, making sure to always go in and finding some really good timings.
Yeah, didn't you know in a best of threes here in Abyssal, you only get 2 flashes for your AD carry?
You gotta use them wisely. You gotta use them wisely.
Gotta use them wisely, man. Baron's gonna go over to Vicious Hunger. Really unfortunate. Nothing that running down mid could have contested. Pubin was maybe looking for the steal, but level 10 on this Jarvan compared to the level 14 Talia.
Oh.
Good luck with that 40-60 chance of stealing that Baron.
That is, I mean, yeah, that right there, alongside the fact that is, I mean, just in terms of raw damage right there, the ability, level ups, all that, you are going to get chunked if you ever see her in the jungle. Almost Flame Horizon with the 100 CS almost. That is insane. This is just pure dominance from Vicious Hunger. Sorry, I just got the script late, so I forgot we were supposed to the Gummy Bulls narrative.
The Gummy Bulls narrative. There you go. Gami's already telling No Name to check his bank account.
Check the bank account. He's like, yo, pick Silver. Check the bank account if you do.
Pick Silver into Caitlyn, please.
Easy.
Yeah, Gummy's gonna be able to just auto attack this turret as we see Leona ultimate land on top of Gummy, but Verena able to protect his AD carry like the good cow he is. As we see Telos, they're applying pressure on all three lanes here, using the Baron buff to the fullest potential. As we see the Ploop not able to do much at all, he only has a Righteous Glory and the Spectral Cowl, but that's not gonna stop Vicious Hunger from getting this top lane inhibitor turret. As we see the Cataclysm goes out, this is a lot of damage in the front line. Denali pops Poobin as Jib and Bits is looking for Denali. Maybe to get something out of this. Leona not going to quite get anything. Stopwatch goes through. Verenda has to be careful, knocks him up, and Never Enough takes out Jib and Bits, keeping Denali alive here as Gummy is maybe looking for a flank. He's flanking as the AD carry. That shows how huge of a lead he has in this game.
Yikes. Running down mid had a really good position there. Gummy Bulls was not rotating for a while. There goes No Name's flash. You know, Gummy Bulls was sitting. Wait a minute, Ploop. Come on, buddy.
A for effort.
Not like this, my boy.
Oh, Telos.
Oh,
No Name finally shuts down Telos here, but this might be game. It's only Poobin and Jib and Bits. I'm not sure that they're able to hold down the fort. There's Baron buff still up on the side of Vicious Hunger. As we're just going to auto-attack this turret to death. Verenda's going to stall it out. And at this point, this is game one going over to Vicious Hunger.
I believe the Vicious stalls.
Yeah, run it down mid, trying to stall it out. Jib and Bits going to be the warrior trying to hold down his home fort. As Talia drops the wall. And this is game one going over to Vicious Hunger.
Yeah, it definitely looks like running down mid. You know, Vicious Hunger, they dropped the wall, and it looks like they are definitely going to drop game one. So, but yeah, there's some pretty dominant gameplay coming out from the side of Vicious Hunger. Just, you know, a lot of pressure just in all of the lanes. It seemed like they had a lot of winning lanes, which I think is another big draft issue for the side of Run It Down Mid. They didn't really have any winning lanes. They might have had an even lane in the mid matchup, but other than that, Caitlyn versus Sivir, you're not looking to win that, at least in lane. You definitely get pushed out of that as well, very much early due to mana costs. And top side, I mean, you have Aurelia versus an Ornn that should be a relatively even lane up until the first back, but even then, Telos showing a really dominant performance on this Aurelia, and Denali as well. On this Talia, disgusting already. Carry jungler is doing a lot of work in this game.
Yeah, it's all about the AP junglers. We see Denali having a fairly clean game. In terms of who put in a lot of work throughout the series, I do have to give it maybe to Never Enough. I think he was keeping up with the team and making these rotations work, especially with the initiations on this Aftershock Lissandra.
Yeah. Really great engagements, always, you know, willing to go in and use the Glacial Prison, immediately just, you know, blow up the side of running down mid, especially alongside someone like Verenda or even Denali. Always having that kind of backup for engagement really makes you a little bit more comfortable when you're playing someone like Lissandra, especially with this Aftershock variant.
Yeah, we are going to go into a short break as we prepare for game two of this best of three series. We're going to see if maybe Run It Down Mid is able to clean themselves up and maybe take a game off of Vicious Hunger, or Vicious Hunger is going to be able to 2-0 Run It Down Mid in this playoffs best of three series.